Imagine waking up tomorrow, walking into your kitchen, turning the tap, and nothing comes out. No pressure, no sound in the pipes, just silence. You try again somewhere else in the house, expecting the system to correct itself, but nothing changes. Within minutes, something ordinary becomes urgent, because when water stops, normal life stops with it. Most people never think about water as something that can fail. It feels permanent because it has always been available. You pay a bill and it works. But water does not appear by magic. It travels through pumping stations powered by electricity, moves through treatment plants designed to remove contaminants, and relies on chemicals, filters, maintenance crews, logistics, and constant monitoring. It is one of the most complex, invisible systems supporting modern life, and like every complex system, it contains weak points. Disruption does not require dramatic collapse. It often begins with smaller events, a power outage that lasts longer than expected, a contamination alert that forces temporary shutdown, a damaged main pipe under a street, a drought that slowly lowers reservoir capacity. These situations are not rare, and they raise a question most households rarely consider. How long could your home function without running water? For many people, the answer is shorter than expected. The average adult requires several liters per day simply to stay hydrated. Cooking increases that need. Hygiene and cleaning increase it further. Water is heavy, and storing enough for multiple days requires planning instead of improvisation. At this point, preparation stops sounding extreme and starts becoming practical. Simple storage is often the first layer. Clean containers sealed properly and kept away from light can preserve usability for extended periods. Distributing storage across different locations reduces risk if one container fails. Reliable systems rarely depend on a single point of access, and households benefit from the same principle of redundancy. However, storage alone is temporary. Reserves run low, and many assume that clear water must be safe. That assumption can lead to risk because microorganisms, parasites, and chemical residues are invisible. Boiling remains one of the most reliable basic methods to reduce biological threats. Filtration devices provide another layer by removing particles and contaminants. Combining approaches increases control and reduces uncertainty. Another concept gaining attention involves extracting water directly from air. The idea may sound futuristic, yet the science behind it is familiar. Air always contains moisture, and when cooled to specific temperatures, vapor condenses into liquid. The same process forms dew in the early morning. Some modern technologies apply controlled condensation to produce drinkable water. Their efficiency depends on environmental conditions, and they do not replace infrastructure, but they illustrate an important shift in perspective. Water is not limited to pipes or reservoirs. It also exists in the environment surrounding us. Access introduces another practical consideration: movement. If water must be transported from an alternative source, physical limitations appear quickly. Containers must be durable, manageable to carry, and sealed effectively. Preparation often succeeds or fails because of these small logistical details rather than lack of knowledge. Planning ahead removes friction and keeps actions deliberate under pressure. There is also a psychological factor. Unexpected disruption increases stress and narrows focus. Decisions become reactive. Yet when someone has already considered the possibility, even briefly, their response is more controlled. Familiar scenarios reduce panic. Instead of reacting blindly, they follow a path already imagined. Modern comfort encourages the belief that infrastructure is permanent, but infrastructure is actually a chain of dependencies. Energy powers pumps. Pumps move water. Treatment ensures safety. Distribution delivers it. When one link weakens, pressure spreads across the system. This does not imply collapse. It highlights dependency. Water supports sanitation, cooking, health, industry, and emergency response. Its absence reveals how interconnected daily life truly is. Preparedness does not require fear-driven thinking. It begins with awareness. Understanding how to store, purify, and access water independently creates flexibility rather than anxiety. Flexibility builds confidence because it replaces uncertainty with options. Perhaps your tap will function without interruption for decades. Perhaps disruption never reaches your door. But awareness changes perspective. Instead of assuming permanence, you begin to recognize the process behind it. Instead of reacting blindly, you respond with intention. When something essential disappears without warning, the difference between confusion and control is rarely chance. More often, it is preparation made quietly, long before anyone else realized it might matter. If you would like to take that preparation one step further, you will find a carefully selected resource in the description below to help you act with clarity rather than uncertainty.